Hello everybody, this is Georgia Lee Polden and this is Cosmic Heart Space. I'm here today to share with you a video about the crystal grid and about grid work. And this is of course from my own perception and understanding of reality. More of this experience will unfold and become more of an understanding to myself as well as we move through this. All I want to say to you is feel within your heart to get and reach the true understanding of the crystalline grid. And, grid work. How are you here to be a part of the grid work system and the crystalline grid? And really, I just want to touch upon this very lightly because actually this could be a whole entire course altogether. I just tried to do a video of this and I'm redoing it again because I felt like I was just going on and it was all going in all different directions because there's just so much that could truly unfold. So I just want to say that it's going to be really light and there's probably will be things that I'm not even going to be able to fully touch upon. But what I will say is we are the crystalline grid. We are the making of the crystalline grid in terms of the human consciousness and the energetics of that, of us becoming more crystalline in nature. So as we are aware that, we have our DNA that isn't fully, completely switched on and in full alignment with pure divine source and all of the cosmos and all of the basically abilities that we have and all of our multidimensional remembrance and so forth. So we're really working slowly and gently to unravel that and to start to feel that and experience more of that. So we're working in that sense, in the sense that there's like a crystalline consciousness, let's say, that is sitting in the grid that we are then working on. And when I talk about the grid, is we could talk about imagining that the earth has sacred geometric patterns, and each pattern, when you imagine when you draw a sacred geometry pattern, you're drawing lines, right? And each line makes up the whole, and it's a pattern and it's a grid. Okay, so that's basically what we're tapping into when we're working with the earth, when we're working with Gaia. And you're tapping into the crystalline grid, is that you could also be tapping into the crystalline grid of the earth, meaning either the, so let's say, new earth grid system, so that say we were playing in a particular frequency bandwidth and now we're going into a higher octave of bandwidth, so we say that it's more crystalline in nature. And that's something that we can start to experience more of the more that we work with it, and the more that we start to tap into its energetics and frequencies, and it assists to upgrade us, we assist to upgrade it, and for it to become more of what the collective consciousness is able to say, like, work in. Work's not the right word, but it's like, function in, and it's like it could get really technical, like talking like as if you're like some kind of computer. But it is a bit like that. It's like, you're plugging out, you got some old hard drive and it wasn't kind of like in resonance and you couldn't really do very much. It was kind of slow, and he was getting lots of viruses and stuff like that. And now we're going in, we've got like a new nice upgraded hard drive, and it's made out of pure crystal, and it's like, works like a dream, and everyone's in resonance, everything's in harmony, everything's in order, it's great. Okay, so that's kind of like, we could speak of it like that. Again, we can actually talk about this like really literally, as in like the crystals in the earth, and you're tapping into the crystal grid within, tapping into all of the crystal consciousness that resides here, even physically and etherically, because there are crystals that reside here that are not necessarily even in physical form. So let's just like stick to the physical. Is that the physical crystals, they are like the trees, how the trees all have their roots into the earth, and they're actually all interconnected, and they'll communicate, so they can go, oh, mate over here, he's not got that much nutrition, can you, like, yeah, we'll pass a bit of that over. That's how they work, right? And it's the same with crystals. They're all interconnected, they all communicate, and we are coming into that state of being able to communicate with them on a much deeper level. So not just like, oh, I've got some pretty crystals, oh yes, it feels, I can feel its energy, it's nice. No, I'm actually going to communicate with it, talk to it telepathically, and really know what it wants, what its intentions are, what its mission is. I can tap into certain crystals, say, that are within my own home, ones that have been taken sadly away from its actual home destination, but it has actually on a soul contract, we've made that decision to come through, but there is sometimes healing to do with them, but they can also assist in reconnecting you to certain parts of the earth, certain dimensions as well, where they've come from, or that their consciousness resides in. So that's kind of what happens with the crystal grids, in that respect. And then I think that one of the other questions was about how to do grid work, perhaps. And so this is from an email, by the way. I'm telling you guys this because I got an email to ask this question. So I'm trying to answer it, but also being kind of loose, because I feel like, as I realized with the video that I already made, that I was trying to cover a lot of things in a way that I felt it wasn't giving enough people space to really truly understand it all, because you can't really in a video. And then I was just going off on a tangent and jumping a little bit here to there, and there wasn't really as much structure that you can get, if you was to read a book or a course on it, where it's like you could kind of explain it a little bit better, I feel, and give it a bit more justice for what grid work is. So grid work is often when we have potentially just genuine intentions to just want to bring more love and more joy into the consciousness of Gaia, and into the consciousness of humanity and all of the collectives that are residing here, so that they can experience that through the systems that we are all interconnected and understanding. It's like we're literally, it's like we're like plugged in to this energy, and it's like those circuits move around and it moves through us, and we're a part of that. So it's about us being in flow with that and in communication with that. We might be given a mission, so we might feel really called to go to a certain place, and you might even feel the emotions of this place, where there might have been a battle could have happened there, or maybe you had a past life there, and it's just an opportunity to sort of send love to any beings there, or even the land there, to recalibrate so it comes back into its highest form, and removing any of the distortion from those spaces. Maybe we're removing the distorted, inverted grids and things like that, because sometimes they can be even distorted themselves. So the way people experience these places, they won't experience it in its highest vibrational resonance, because they're tapping into something else, because it's almost like a leakage for other energy infiltration, which again, it's still us that's like creating that, but it's like we've created that for an experience of deeper understanding of ourselves, because because we are all one consciousness and one divine loving source that is just experiencing itself separately, but wanting to find out about itself again, so we can come back into that beautiful state of remembering, right? And so that's kind of what happens, and you can do it just intuitively or just be called. You might feel like you want to just sing in those places. Beautiful energy can come through and lift off through singing in these places, dropping off crystals and stones and gifts in these places. The offerings. This is a very ancient ways that people treat it. Grid work can also be the fact that because we are evolving and we're moving into high dimensional states of consciousness and understanding, we're breaking free from old constructs that are limiting us as evolving as an actual complete, all the human race. We are then able to work through that grid system to help them move anything that is blocking that and blocking that way. And that's why a lot of people feel called to certain places to either unlock old, say old, but other lifetimes, where we have had full remembrance, we have had full alignment with our soul, so that we can kind of retrieve the abilities to do so. But there's probably like a whole world of things that could be reasonings for why we do these things and what we do. But my best solution for this is probably just to feel it with your heart. Feel when you get to a certain place, is just feel how you feel with it and tap into that inner knowing that already knows all of this stuff. And I think that you also have the ability to sit and meditate or journal or whatever, and retrieve this information yourself and retrieve the information of the crystalline grid and what that means to you. Because I could tell you, and people could probably write comments and say it means this, it means that. It's all right. Everyone has their perception of it and perspective and their experience of it. We're all in this having our own experience. Mine might be limited compared to some, and some might just not actually have a Scooby what I'm going on about because it's just not in their sphere of awareness. So just take this and go, okay, now what's my truth, and what do I want to experience, and how can I experience that? And ask your soul that question so that you can start to have more of these experiences in your life, and that will give you the understanding through that. So I hope that this has been helpful and maybe spark some inspiration for you. If you would like any personal sessions, I do actually offer something that I call crystalline consciousness upgrading, and that's where I really do help people on a one-to-one basis to work through their crystalline energetics, their geometric patterning of their field, to bring in the crystalline frequencies at higher states of consciousness for the evolution of their own soul, and of course the whole of humanity raising their consciousness all together. Because the more we do it individually, it just expands, it ripples out, it's beautiful. And that's done through, I create artwork that represents your energetics and your frequencies, so it gives you the gateway and the portal to work with, and so that you can really start to sit and be with that frequency more and more and more. Because in our everyday life, we're sometimes not within it as much as we could be. So this is a nice little space to be with that energy. And I create sessions and blocks of sessions where we go through lots of different amazing, beautiful modalities and practices for you to start to embody more and more and more of this crystalline consciousness that is you, this aspect of you, which is your crystalline aspect. Okay, so thank you for listening, sending you all the love. Feel free to give me a comment and a like and share if it resonates, do you know what I mean? And just spread this love and this beautiful collective consciousness that we're all coming into. So speak to you soon, and all the blessings and love.